All right. Now that we have successfully discovered all the devices on our network and imported all the appropriate firmware files into our repository, the last step in this process is going to be actually scheduling and executing our firmware updates. To do so, just navigate to the right-hand side, hit Upgrade Firmware, and from here, we're going to be upgrading device firmware. JetDirect's pretty old technology, but it's available to Web Jetadmin if for whatever reason you have a JetDirect device. And something that I highly recommend you do is check this box for scheduling your firmware upgrade, because while Web Jetadmin is going to be executing any type of update, that printer is not going to be available for any kind of printing activities, as well as if for whatever reason someone accesses that device during a firmware update, it will likely break the device and we would have to send out a tech to come fix it. So in any case, I highly recommend you hit the schedule firmware upgrade option so that you can have these updates execute during off hours or days when you know that there's not going to be a lot of people in the office. So we can go ahead and hit next. Select our two devices and move them over to our devices to be updated. Hit next. Now, because our E-Series device is already at its latest firmware version, it is not going to be scheduled to have a firmware update. So we have our M608 device. It has its current version listed right here, and Web Jetadmin is recommending this firmware version that we imported into the repository. You can go ahead and hit next. I'm going to leave the name as firmware upgrade for now. You can change it to whatever you want. If you maybe have multiple upgrades going on, it's good to name them maybe off of the date that you have them scheduled or even the devices that you're trying to update. I want this update to occur on Monday the 25th at 6:30 a.m. So that way, if for whatever we have this update execute before the bulk of our employees enter the office, and if there's any issues during the upgrade or if the upgrade fails, we can have someone from our IT desk go and check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. It's going to give me a quick synopsis of all the settings that I selected. I'm going to go ahead and hit upgrade because everything looks good. Hit done. Now, if we go to our firmware tab, we're going to see we have a scheduled firmware update for Monday the 25th at 6:30 a.m. Now, let's say that I get word from our IT team that they are not going to be available on Monday. They're all on PTO or something. I can go ahead, just instead of going back and redoing all those steps, I can just select this firmware upgrade, hit edit, and then I can now choose to have this update execute on Thursday the 28th at 6:30 so that someone will be around. Save schedule. And now it has been pushed back. If you want to check on the progress of our firmware updates, once the firmware update begins, it will move to our active tasks pane, upon which you can select it and hit view, and that way you can monitor its progress in real time. So if there's any issues or if for whatever reason you need to stop it because it's taking too long, that gives you the option to do it right here. So that is how you use Web Jetadmin to upgrade firmware on a print device. I appreciate it so much for you taking time out of your day to watch these and learn a little bit more about Web Jetadmin and specifically how to use it to increase your security posture by upgrading firmware on your network. If you have any questions or run into any problems during any of the process that we covered, you can go ahead and reach out directly to me. You can always shoot me an email, and I keep my schedule fairly open for calls to discuss any troubleshooting options, as well as you can go ahead and reach out to your sales representative, and they will get you in touch with either myself or Jay Brown, and we will work with you to resolve any issue that you may have. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.